Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Time to relax, unwind, and recharge in paradise. This webinar will be presented by Sebnem Richtmann, Business Development Manager for Palladium Hotel Group in Canada. And of course, I'm Dan McDonald with Baxter Media, and I'll be moderating today. Please be sure to attend the full duration of the webinar today for your chance to win a 3-night stay for 2 guests at the Trs Yucatan Hotel Junior Suite category. Anyone that joins late or leaves early will not be eligible. So just before we get into things, I'd like to let all of you know that at the end of this webinar, you will have the chance to ask a few questions to Sebnem. To do so, just type them into the Q&A section of the public chat box, which should be towards the right-hand side of your screen, and those questions will be answered in due time. And remember, this is a live session, so your patience is appreciated during any technical difficulties that might arise. I'll now hand things over to Sebnem Richtmann, Business Development Manager for Palladium Hotel Group. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Daniel, and thank you to you and to Baxter Media for this great opportunity. And everyone out there, thank you for joining me. We really appreciate your time. I have some updates for you on our hotels. And before I get started, let's take a look at who we are. We are the 7th largest Spanish hotel chain in the world, and we've been around for many, many years. So with lots of experience, lots of rooms, lots of hotels. It originated in Ibiza, Spain. So the owners are from there with a huge brand portfolio that we have. You have probably heard of the Tiara's hotels, which are adults-only resorts in Mexico and Dominican Republic. And we also have our Grand Palladium resorts in Mexico, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and of course other countries. Mainly we sell the ones that are Grand Palladium and Tiara's hotels out of Canada. And we work with all the tour operators. Today I'm going to focus, we do have lots of hotels, but I'm going to focus on Riviera Maya and Costa Mujeres in Mexico. So this is our team in Canada, and you may already know some of us. Julia is in Montreal. She's our business development manager who looks after Quebec, Ottawa, and the Maritimes. And Gabriel is based in Toronto. He's our director of sales, and that's me on the right. I'm in Ontario. I'm in Toronto, and I look after all of Western Canada and except Ottawa. And if you are from the US, we also have our US BDMs, and please reach out to me and I'll get you in contact with our US BDMs as well. So let's talk about some of the health and safety protocols at all our destinations. We are certified by SGS. SGS is the world's leading inspection, verification, testing, and certification company. And we do have a full page, of course, of health and safety protocols, which you can find on our website. I had the opportunity to experience it firsthand last week. I was in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico at one of our resorts, and it works very well, I can tell you. Everything runs very smoothly. You can send your guests to our hotels in confidence. So we do temperature checks to all of the employees, all the staff, and all our guests when they arrive, disinfection of all the workplaces, and there's actually a sticker on the door before you come in that tells you that no one's been there after the room has been cleaned. Masks are worn throughout the resorts, and we ask all the guests to wear the masks as well, but all our staff are always wearing their masks. And we have our doctors right at the hotel, so there is medical service 24/7. If anyone's not feeling well, they can certainly visit the doctor's office. Social distancing is not an issue at our hotel, especially in Riviera Maya, Costa Mujeres. We have big resorts, so there's lots of space for everyone. As far as food safety, all the protocols are in place. Buffets are open, so and we have a lot of staff assisting guests. We have enhanced room service for those guests who are wanting to just have room service. They can have that. Check-in, check-out can all be done online. When guests arrive, actually, they can upload the Palladium app on their phone, and they'll be able to make reservations for all the restaurants. They can contact front desk, so everything can be done right from there. And all our staff are always being updated with all the latest protocols. So let's talk about the PCR testing. I know this is very important, and it is still required for Canadians or US citizens. It is done at all the hotels at a destination. For us in Mexico, the cost is $95 US. For the Canadian residents, the PCR test is required. And for the Dominican Republic, it's $90. And for Jamaica, it's $150 US. And if you have guests coming from the US, they only need to do the antigen test, and that's a little bit less expensive. So it's done very smoothly. I experienced it last week myself. So when guests check in, they can make arrangements right at front desk for their test to be done. It's done by a third party, so someone will actually come to the hotel to do the test, and they'll email them the results. So yeah, it works very well, and it will be available at all the destinations as long as it's required. So let's talk about our hotels. Grand Palladiums, as you know, are family-friendly beachfront locations. We have a la carte restaurants, lots of bars to choose from. There's convention centers, and there are family selections as well. First, we're going to go into our Costa Mujeres property in Mexico. This property is pretty new for us still. It opened November 2018, offering 670 rooms. It is a beautiful resort. I've been there a few times myself and looking forward to going back again. You have your village area. I'll show you some of the pictures. It is a big resort, so you have lots of space. These maps are available on our website. So if anyone's interested in seeing the actual property where everything is, they can download our maps. You have beautiful views of Playa Mujeres. It's about, the resort is about 40 minutes from Cancun Airport. So it's pretty close. It's not very far. This is your typical junior suite. Junior suites come with 2 beds or 1 bed. And all the junior suites have pull-out sofas for the families. And this is one with the 1 king bed and a pull-out sofa. So you have your bathroom area. It's very open, but there is a curtain for privacy, curtain between the bathroom and the bedroom if it's required. There's also loft suites. These are very popular for families at the Grand Palladium side. You have your sitting area and pull-out sofa on the main level, and then upstairs is your bedroom. And then you have 2 bathrooms, of course. So there is a river that goes around the property. It's man-made. We put that together when it was being built. And there's a boat that will take you from your room to the village area. It's very exciting for families. It's like an excursion on its own, as you can see. And these boats came from Montreal. So this is the village area, the theater. You have your restaurants there. There's a sports bar. There's the cafe where you can get your specialty drinks. And there's a village rooftop bar. This is a great hangout place at night after the shows. And of course, for those tennis lovers, we have our Rafael Nadal Tennis Academy right at the hotel. So it's ideal for those people who just want to play tennis. They don't have to be an expert, you know, they can just play tennis. Or if they like to take lessons, we have our pros at the hotel who can provide lessons for children or for adults at an additional cost. It's not only a tennis court. I mean, there is the sports bars there, cafes there. You can get your smoothies, healthy drinks. There's the gym there as well. So I had mentioned family selection within the resort, Grand Palladium Resort. We actually have this in Costa Mujeres and in Puerto Vallarta. It's designed especially for families traveling with younger children. Rooms have special amenities like robes. They have the slippers. So this area is on its own. It's a building on its own within the complex, and they have their own butler, like a family host. They have their own pool, own restaurant. All the facilities they would require, we have it in this one section. So it makes it much easier for the families, and something for adults. So when the family is staying in the family selection in Costa Mujeres, adults have access to our Trs Coral Resort. So they can leave the children at, at the club and go on to enjoy Trs Coral, which is the adults only. They can dine there and use the facility. So something for everyone. Guests from the Grand Palladium side do not have access to this area. However, if you're staying in the family section, you do have access to the entire Grand Palladium side, including the village. So it is, it's a beautiful place for those families who want to just relax, and kids can enjoy all kinds of activities right in this complex. And I'll show you some of the rooms. Lots of amenities, special amenities in these rooms. I mean, they can choose what drinks they like in their mini bar. If they want apple juice, milk, they get turn down service with warm cookies and milk at night. They can have their bath filled up with bubbles if they wish. So a lot of great amenities. Sunscreen is available, sippy cups, high chairs, cribs in the rooms. Okay, so we're going to move on to our Grand Palladium in the Riviera Maya. So that is in between Playa del Carmen and Tulum. It's about an hour and a half from Cancun. We have our White Sand, Colonial, and Cantena resorts. So three resorts in one. If you're staying in one, you have access to the entire resort. This resort is gorgeous. It is very lush. It's very big. So something to do for everyone. Nobody will get bored. Ideal for your groups. We have a beautiful spa here as well. So as you can see on the map, we have our Cantena, Colonial, White Sand, and then our adults section, which I'll talk about, is the Trs Yucatan. As you can see, it is a widespread resort. We do have shuttles in between the resorts, or you can walk when it's not really hot. It's great for, the beach is great for jogging in the mornings before it gets really hot. We are on a good stretch of beach at the end here. So this is the Cantena Colonial section area where we have the main activities. The water park is there. The kids club is there. It's ideal for your families. I'll show you some of the rooms. We have the Deluxe Rooms and Junior Suites. Cantena Colonial rooms are pretty much identical, except the bedding is different color. We call them our mirror image rooms. So Junior Suites have either 2 beds or 1 bed, and you have your pull-out sofa as well. And then we have our White Sand section, which is next to the Colonial and Cantena sections. You have your Junior Suite, or you have a suite. Suite is like a 1-bedroom. Again, you stay in one, you have access to everything. And the White Sand section was entirely renovated, from restaurants to the lobby to the rooms. I would say the Cantena Colonial is ideal for families with children. And then the White Sand is a little bit more quiet for those guests who want to have a little bit more quietness there. And this is the huge pool that you have on the White Sand side. Again, you do have access to this area if you're staying in one of the sections. So we have a lot of restaurants to choose from because you have access to all 3. We do ask for reservations right now due to the COVID situation, but normally you don't need any reservations. You can just walk into any of the restaurants, and it's unlimited. And of course, we have our buffet restaurants too. So as I mentioned, all the Grand Palladiums are ideal for families. We have the food allergy program. It works very well for adults or children. If anyone has allergies, don't hesitate to send your guests to the Grand Palladiums, because we do have a good program where, you know, all our staff are trained. The guests will be asked if they have any allergies when they check in. They get a color-coded card that tells our staff what kind of allergies they have, and they'll be looked after. So we have our baby club, kids club, and junior club. So something for all ages. Kids club is open right now. Baby club and junior clubs are closed. Hopefully they'll be opening soon. And the sports bar for all ages, for adults as well. So at all the Grand Palladiums. So let's have a look at our splash parks. This is the one in Colonial and Cantena side. And this is the one in Costa, Mujeres. Costa Mujeres property was built in November 2018. And they do a lot of activities in the kids clubs. And this is a teenagers club. So they have a lot of different type of games. So if you have incentive groups, we have our meetings and incentives team at each destination. We have our meeting rooms, and we can look after all the individual needs. So this is the one in Costa Mujeres. That's our biggest one. That's right in the village area. So we can accommodate a lot of passengers or guests here. And in Riviera Maya, we also have meeting rooms as well. And we can, maximum capacity is 550 people here as well. So if you need this type of space, please let me know, and I'll get you in contact with our MICE department. And if they need any audiovisual equipment, any break amenities, we can assist you with all of that. Weddings. If you do weddings, we have amazing wedding packages. We've been doing weddings at destination for many, many years. And we have our local wedding coordinators. I can get you in contact with them as well. And you can view all our packages at palladiumweddings.com. Different packages are offered for different types of weddings or the size of the wedding. So we do them very well. And yeah, our couples love them. So let's move on to adults resorts. They are TRS resorts. You've probably heard of them. And the ones that I'm going to focus on today are the ones in Costa, Mujeres and Riviera Maya. So there are true 5-star all-inclusive resorts, including your a la carte restaurants, premium bars with premium drinks. You have your chic cabaret restaurant. That's a show and dinner. That's a 3-hour show that's included for our TRS guests. And we have free Wi-Fi, of course, your butler service as well. So Chic Cabaret is included for TRS guests. There's an admin fee of $35 US, but it is a must-see. It's an amazing show. Food is amazing. And when guests check in, they should see their butler to make reservations for these shows. And we normally have them throughout the week, sometimes 3 times, sometimes 4 times, depending on the occupancy levels. So we have this available in Yucatan as well. Okay, so Trs Coral is a member of the leading hotels of the world. It is attached to the Grand Palladium in Costa Mujeres. It's a beautiful resort. You have your own restaurants. Of course, when guests are staying in the TRS properties, they have access to the Grand Palladium side. If they don't want to, they don't need to, because they have everything they need right on their in their section. You have 469 suites on the Trs Coral side. We have 4 exclusive a la carte restaurants, 6 premium bars with your premium drinks, and of course there's service, waiter service by the pools. Beautiful views of Playa, Mujeres. I get asked often, how is the beach? Beach is beautiful. You can walk for miles and miles, and that is a new developing area. So there's lots of development, new hotels in the area. This is one of the rooms at Trs Coral. You can see the beautiful views here. I'll show you some of the rooms. So junior suites, the beds are angled a certain way. So you have, when you wake up, you have beautiful views of the ocean or the pool or the river that we have built around the property. The bathroom and the loft suite. There's beautiful loft suites here too. On the ground floor, you don't have sleeping arrangements here like the Grand Palladium side, because it is for adults only. So the bedroom is upstairs. And this is a loft suite. You have your jacuzzi outside. And the swim out units. These are very, very popular. They sell out very quickly. We only have a number of them. So if anyone's interested, I will book them right away. This is the theater area, the village area that we have in Costa Mujeres. At night, they have the water show with the lights. It's amazing. If you can catch that one night, it's worth seeing. This is one of my favorite places, the sports bar. It's open all the time, and you can get nice meals here, drinks. And there's the cafe in Costa Mujeres that I love as well. Okay, so let's go back to our Riviera Maya, Trs Yucatan Resort. This is one of my other favorites. I love them all. This is a very lush property. It was, we closed it down a few years ago and gutted it out and renovated everything, built new rooms, new gorgeous pool, and new restaurants. Everything is redone. And again, you have access to the Grand Palladium side. And of course, we have Chic Cabaret here as well. So you have 5 a la carte restaurants. You have a special area by the beach for our guests. And we have the river here too. And that gives us gorgeous bungalow rooms right on the water on the Trs Yucatan side. I'll show you some of those. Those are the romance villa rooms. And we have canoes actually that go around the property. So if you're staying in one of these romance villas, you can just hop on the canoe and go around. This is our typical junior suite. And the swim out rooms. These are, in Yucatan, we have rooms on the ground floor that have private pools. You're not sharing it with other units. It's private, and you can have breakfast served here if you wish. They bring it on a floating tray. It really is amazing. And these rooms sell out very quickly. That's in Trs Yucatan. And the infinity pool. We built this pool a couple of years ago when we did the renovations. It is the most popular area. You can get your drinks served here. There's a bar. You can grab some snacks. We did win an award in 2019 for being the coolest pool in the area. So it really is a gorgeous pool. And don't forget, we have a spa at all the destinations. You can get all kinds of different treatments. We have the gym there. You do need to make reservations right now for the gym and the spa for the time being. And the gym has the latest equipment, as you can see, if you would like to work out during your holidays. Don't forget something for you. This is rewards, Palladium Connect. If you haven't signed up, please go ahead and sign up. And when you receive the booking number from the tour operator, we work with all the Canadian tour operators. You would enter the booking number, and when guests have checked out, you get cash rewards. Or we also offer special travel agents rates, and you need to be signed up to Palladium Connect to receive them. And you can learn about Palladium Connect. There's some modules that you can complete, earn cash that way as well. So this is Julia and Sebnem, our emails. If you need to reach us, please feel free anytime. The best way to reach us is by email. If you have any questions, please let us know.
Thanks so much, Sebnem. That was wonderful.
Thank you, Daniel.
And we'll now get around to asking or answering some of the questions that were asked during this webinar. And I see some were submitted to both chat and Q&A. So let's see. I promised Barbara we would answer her question first. So Barbara had asked, is there COVID testing available at hotels? Also, what about rooms for quarantine of tests that are positive?
Yes. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we do testing at all the destination, the PCR testing. So guests can make reservations or the arrangements as soon as they arrive at the hotel, and someone will come to the hotel to do the testing. And if they do test positive, we do have quarantine rooms. One section of the hotel, they can quarantine at our hotels. And starting in 2022, if they do test positive, we will offer them a discounted rate if they wish to stay with us. It's about a 30% off the rack rates. Right now, if they're traveling up until December 31st, 2021, if guests test positive, we do offer 10 nights comp stay for them. But as of 2022, that will disappear, and we can offer special rates if they do test positive.
Ah, wonderful. That's great. And Barbara also asked, are staff at hotels vaccinated? And are they required to wear masks?
They are required to wear masks at all times, and they do wear them. By law, we cannot make it mandatory for them to be vaccinated. We definitely encourage them. In some destinations, for example, in the Dominican Republic, the government came to the hotels and they vaccinated everyone. In Mexico, that's not the case right now. We are encouraging all our staff to get vaccinated, but unfortunately, we can't make it mandatory at this time. Right, of course. And Neil asks, are Trs Coral Playa Mujeres guests allowed to use the Grand Palladium restaurants for dinner? Yes, absolutely. So if you're staying in the Trs Coral or Trs Yucatan, you have access to the entire Grand Palladium resorts. Yes. That's great. And then Neil's next question was, would you please send me your contact info? I think he asked that, yeah, just a couple of minutes ago. Okay. So, yeah, Neil, we can send that to you. That's no problem. And he put his email address in there. Perfect. Yeah, Neil, that's no problem at all. I'll even screenshot that just in case. There we go. Okay, great. And again, you guys, to anyone that might have questions that you'd like to submit, feel free to submit them to either the Q&A tab or the chat tab. Either one's fine. And Corey asks, was Trs Yucatan the old Palladium Riviera? Good question. Yes and no. So the area where the Riviera was, That was knocked down. We got rid of the Riviera section, and that became the Trs Yucatan. So if you're asking that, because we had a saltwater pool there, it's still there, and it belongs to Trs Yucatan. It is that area, the Riviera area, where we had the Riviera section, that became Trs Yucatan area, yes.
Oh, that's so neat.
Yeah.
Great. And this next question here, we have time for a couple more. If you're staying at Grand Palladium as an adult, can you go to TRS for meals and pool use?
Unfortunately not. Not even the adults that are staying in the Grand Palladium side they have access to the TRS side. They have to be staying on the TRS side to have access to the TRS side.
Ah, right. Okay. And Carrie asks, if price is virtually identical, how can we help adult clients without kids choose between Colonial, Catena, and White Sands?
Okay, so that's a good question. So without kids, was that the question?
Yeah, that's right.
Without kids. So Catena Colonial side tend to be busier with lots of activities because lots of children there, kids club there. If you have adult guests, and they're interested in the Grand Palladium side, I would definitely recommend the White Sand side. They have their huge pool to themselves. Most of the time it is quiet because children tend to stay on the Catena Colonial side where all the activities are. So if you have adult guests, I would recommend the White Sand side. They would have to walk over to the Catena Colonial side for the beach, as the beach is closer to that side. But if they're pool lovers, White Sand would be ideal for them.
Yeah, it sounds about right to me. Definitely. John asks, do guests have to be vaccinated to stay at your resorts? And if they are not vaccinated, do they have to quarantine?
No, we do not ask guests if they're vaccinated or not. And we do not, and they don't need to quarantine at all.
And we have time for one more question here. Neil says, muchos gracias for emailing me. Are you planning any travel advisor FAMs in 2022?
We're hoping that we will have some FAMs. If not, please sign up to Palladium Connect if you haven't, and we can offer you special travel agents rates. I know hotels are pretty full right now for November and December, but starting in January, you will receive some special travel agents rates.
That's wonderful. That's great. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. Let's see. Just because we have time, I'm tempted to read out a couple more here. Are you okay with that, Sebnem, if I read out a couple more?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Great. Okay, so Brett asks, given how large your resorts are, are there any in particular that guests with mobility issues should consider or maybe avoid? That's a good question. Okay,
so all our resorts, they're big, but they are fully accessible. So we have ramps throughout the properties. In Yucatan, sorry, the Riviera Maya area, we don't have elevators, so we would put them on the ground floor, or we do have accessible rooms, which we could put them in. In the Costa Mujeres side, we have elevators in the buildings, so no problem there either. But all of our resorts have fully accessible. They're all fully accessible. We have ramps everywhere, ramps to the beach, so they won't have any problems. It may take them a little bit longer to get around, but they can get around no problems.
That's great, though. I mean, that's so good to know.
Yeah.
And a very last question here from Barbara again. Do you need reservations for restaurants at Grand Palladium?
Normally not. During COVID, yes, we do ask for reservations so that we know how many guests are coming into the restaurants so we can space them out accordingly. Right now, they would need to make reservations for the restaurants. On normal, we will go back to that hopefully soon, but right now, yes, we do need reservations.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Sebnem. It was great having you presenting for us today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Daniel. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Please feel free to reach out to either one of us anytime you have any questions. We're always here.
Great. And from all of us here at Baxter Media, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this webinar today. If you happen to miss part of today's webinar, the recording will be made available tomorrow on our YouTube channel, and that's Baxter Media on YouTube. And in terms of the prize draw, the winner will be contacted in the next few days after the name is drawn from the list of people who were signed in the entire time. So again, I'd like to give a huge thanks to Sebnem for presenting for us today. It was wonderful having you here virtually with us.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.